breathing through the folds of velvet space. Every heavy thought is turning into mist, falling through a pale and sapphire grace. Weighted stars are sinking in a sea of pearls, losing on the edges of the day. Dancing in the shaft of light, floating like a feather made of frost. Time is just a thread of silk upon the loom, woven into patterns we have lost. Hollow shells of amber hold the quiet heat, resting where the violet shadows blue. Golden tides dissolve on waves of silent glass, breathing through the folds of velvet space. Every heavy thought is turning into mist, falling through a pale and sapphire grace. Weighted stars are sinking in a sea of pearls, losing all the edges of the day. Silver veins are tracing paths across the sky, bleeding into pools of liquid white. Gravity is nothing but a distant hum, softly fading out of reach and sight. Petals made of mercury are drifting down, coating every mountain in a shroud. Golden tides dissolved in waves of silent glass, breathing through the folds of velvet space. Every heavy thought is turning into mist, falling to a pale and sapphire grace. Weighted stars are sinking in a sea of curve, losing all the edges of the day. Golden tides dissolve in waves of silent glass, breathing through the folds of velvet space. Every heavy thought is turning into mist, falling through a pale and sapphire gray. Weighted stars are sinking in a sea of curve, losing all the edges of the day. The ceiling is a heavy shade of violet, distorting every breath I try to hold. The furniture has lost its solid edges, merging with the shadows and the cold. I trace the silver static on the carpet, where memories of sunlight used to crawl. There is a hollow ringing in the silence that bounces off the velvet on the wall. I drift across the surface of the morning, This is the architecture of its ether, a cathedral made of salt and easy light. We are the architects of drifting sideways, beyond the reach of everything that is right. There is no gravity inside this chamber, only the pulling of a distant tide. We fold ourselves into the hazy fabric.
Pale silk across the ceiling of the mind, where the velvet edges of the vision unwind, floating through a valley of silver mist, a touch of something the sun has never kissed, gliding on a breath of suspended light, watching the colors dissolve into the white. The air is heavy with a quiet weight, a liquid motion at a narrow gate, weightless as a feather in a falling stream, the softest murmur of a waking dream, shimmering through a translucent veil, beyond the reach of the weathered sail, a cinematic glow in the silent hall, where the shadows rise and the echoes fall, suspended in a grace of endless blue. The world is fading and turning through it, turning through it, turning. Stardust settles on the quiet skin, where the secrets of the deep begin, a gentle hum of a distant star, telling the story of who we are. Soft as the drift of a winter leaf, finding a beauty beyond belief. The air is heavy with a quiet ray, a liquid motion at the narrow gate, weightless as a feather in a falling stream, the softest murmur of a waking dream, shimmering through the translucent veil, beyond the reach of the weathered sail, a cinematic glow in the silent hallway, shadows rise and the echoes fall, suspended in the groves of endless blue. The world is fading and turning. Time is a ripple on a quiet pond, reaching for the vastness of the far beyond. No more gravity and no more gold, only the warmth that the spirits hold. Drifting through the ether of a calm desire, tracing the guile of a silver line, shimmering through the translucent veil, beyond the reach of the weathered sail, a cinematic glow in the silent hall, where the shadows rise and the echoes fall, suspended in the grace of endless blue. The world is fading and turning, shimmering through the translucent veil, beyond the reach of the weathered sail, a cinematic glow in the silent hall, where the shadows rise and the echoes fall, suspended in the grace of endless blue. The world is fading and turning through.
The ceiling dissolves into a pale liquid light. Gravity surrenders to the pull of the tides. I am drifting through the hollows of a silver morning, while the ghosts of my intentions begin to fade. Every heavy thought is a stone left on the shore, leaving me to float where the currents decide. Hold on to the weightlessness of the unfolding hour. Let the velvet distance carry us further away in this kingdom of mist and unspoken devotion. We are the haze that the dawn cannot touch, rising and falling like a slow intake of breath, until the world is just a flicker in the dark. That has lost its iron grip, unraveling softly into threads of pure dust. I recognize the silence as a long lost companion, calling from the depth of a mirror turned cold. Hold on to the weightlessness of the unfolding hour. Let the velvet distance carry us further away in this kingdom of mist and unspoken devotion. We are the haze that the dawn cannot touch, rising and falling like a slow intake of breath, until the world is just a flicker in the dark. Hold on to the weightlessness of the unfolding hour. Let the velvet distance carry us further away in this kingdom of mist and unspoken devotion. We are the haze that the dawn cannot touch, rising and falling like a slow intake of breath, until the world is just a flicker in the dark. Hold on to the weightlessness of the unfolding hour. Let the velvet distance carry us further away in this kingdom of mist and unspoken devotion. We are the haze that the dawn cannot touch, rising and falling like a slow intake of breath, until the world is just a flicker in the dark.
silver haze is hanging heavy on the glass. I watch the heavy moments as they slowly pass. A velvet blanket folding over every street. The hum of silence makes the picture feel complete. My fingers trace the outline of a hollow space, the pale reflection of a half-forgotten face. The light is bending in a prism on the floor. I wonder what the morning has been waiting for. A liquid motion in the corner of my sight. The indigo is bleeding through the coming light. I sink into the softness of the fabric chairs and breathe the stillness of the cool and quiet airs. The shadows lengthen like a slow and steady tide, with nowhere left for all the tired thoughts to hide. The clock is ticking, but the hands are standing still against the gravity of my own drifting will. Float across the ceiling like a ghost of gold, woven in the stories that were never told. Caught between the layers of the shifting deep, waking in the middle of a restless sleep. Higher than the summit of a limestone peak, finding all the answers that I used to seek. Lying on the surface of a polished sea, further from the person that I used to be. Flirt across the ceiling like a ghost of gold, woven in the stories that were never told. Caught between the layers of the shifting deep, waking in the middle of a restless sleep. Higher than the summit of a limestone peak, finding all the answers that I used to seek. Gliding on the surface of a polished sea, further from the person that I used to be. The texture of the air is thick and sweet, a tapestry of patterns at my feet. The edges of the room are blurring now, beyond the reach of any lingering doubt. Suspended in a globe of violet glass, I let the heavy expectations pass. The weight of every word has washed away into the grayness of a newborn day. The window opens on a garden made of mist. By every cooling current I am softly kissed. The furniture is melting into shades of blue. I lose the memory of everything I know. The ceiling mirrors back the ocean far below. I'll follow where the gentle currents want to go. A quiet union with the atmosphere around, no longer tethered to the solid muddy ground. Float across the ceiling like a ghost of gold, woven in the stories that were never told. Caught between the layers of the shifting deep, waking in the middle of a restless sleep. Higher than the summit of a limestone peak, finding all the answers that I used to seek. Gliding on the surface of a polished sea, courier from the person that I used to be. Silver curtains flow through the open ceiling, where the gravity dissolves into a pale blue haze. We are drifting past the edges of jagged scars. Everything we lost is found in the stillness, in the sanctuary of this suspended moment. The weight of the world is a goal behind us, a memory fading in the velvet distant. We are becoming the very space we breathe, dissolving into the clarity of the void. Look through the corridors of the boundless, where the color bleed into a single hum. We are the spark within the hollow crystal, a quiet prayer sent into the wide expanse, falling upward into the infinite soft glow. Silver currents trace the edges of a cooling sun. Heavy eyelids falling where the tangled wires run. Weightless on a tide of pale and shifting glass, watching every solid shadow bloom and slowly pass. Softness in the mirror of a quiet afternoon, tethered to the gravity of some forgotten moon. Velvet layers thickening along the hollow hall, suspended in the amber where the golden feathers fall. Liquid silence pulling in the hollows of the hand, tracing out the map of an unwritten coastal land. Nothing has a boundary in this pale and breathing room, sinking through the petals of a subterranean bloom. Drifting on the vapor of 1,000 hidden sighs, caught within the flicker of 100 closing eyes. Oceanic ceilings where the light begins to bend, floating through a story that refuses now to end. Losing every anchor in the hum of perfect deep, walking on the surface of a wide and waking sleep. Vibration of a distance, a softening of time, ascending through the cadence of a slow and wordless rhyme, dissolving in the radiance of a pale and holy glow, leaving all the heavy things 1,000 miles below. Canvas of the evening, turning indigo and gray, brushing off the remnants of a loud and jagged day. Cotton in the pulses and a sugar in the breath, finding all the sweetness in a temporary death. The shutter is open, but the vision is blurred. Tracing the breath of a half-spoken word, smeared like a charcoal stain on the sky. The pastel reflections begin to run dry, wrapped in a static that hums in the veins. The memory of sun is all that remains. Walking through gardens of grit and of woe, while the ache in the center remains ever full. The horizon dissolves in a pale lavender haze. I drown in the edges of these hollowed out days, tenderly drifting through a velvet descent. The light is a ghost and the silence is spent, fading away in the wash of the tide, where all of the secrets of gravity hide. The grain on the film is a fever of gray, softening the sharpest parts of the day. Cinema flickers on a cracked cellar wall, watching the giants of industry fall. The colors are bleeding across the divine, tracing a jagged and flickering line. Heaviness hangs like a curtain of smoke in the language of water and no price spoke. The horizon dissolves in a pale lavender haze, drawn into ages of these hollowed out days, tenderly drifting through a velvet descent. The light is a ghost and the silence is spent, fading away in the wash as the tide, where all of the secrets of gravity hide.
The horizon bleeds into a velvet shroud, where the silence breathes beneath the copper cloud. We are drifting through the lens of a faded sun, before the ghost of the day is finally undone, caught in the silver grain of a frozen frame. The weight of the sky leans heavy on the glass, watching the centuries of shadows slowly pass. It is not the distance that makes the heart grow cold, but the weight of the stories that remain untold. The tide pulls the anchors from the ocean floor, as we wander toward the edge of an unseen shore. The light is a liquid gold, pouring through the cracks, leaving no trace of our wanderings or our track. The horizon bleeds into a velvet shroud, where the silence breathes beneath a copper cloud. We are drifting through the lens of a fading sun, before the ghost of the day is finally undone, caught in the silver grain of a frozen frame. The dust settles down on the old mahogany stair, like a thousand memories suspended in the air. There is a hollow ringing in the valley below, start to blur and the peaks align. Everything we touched has turned into haze, lost in the flittering of a cinematic maze. Horizon bleeds into a velvet shroud, where the silence breathes beneath the copper cloud. We are drifting through the land of a fading sun, before the ghost of the day is finally undone. Caught in the silver grain of a folding frame.
Silver mist descends upon the quiet hollow, a weightless tide that pulls the senses slow, where gravity dissolves in velvet motion, and colors bleed into a pale indigo. The ceiling of the world is drifting open, suspended in a veil of liquid light. We navigate the map of voiceless spaces through the translucent fabric of the night. Softly the edges of reality are blurring into a sea of calm that has no shore, a stillness blooming in a heart of motion, until the heavy world is felt no more. Floating on a breath that carries no direction, a silent current through the dreaming mind, wrapped in the folds of infinite reflection, leaving the solid earth so far behind. A gentle warmth resides within the shadow, like starlight filtered through a cooling lens. The pulse of time is measured out in ripples, where every ending gracefully begins. No sudden movement breaks the peaceful surface, just steady glimmers in the deep expanse. An architecture built to shift in vapors, caught in the middle of a spectral dance. Softly the edges of reality are blurring into a sea of call that has no shore, a stillness blooming in the heart of motion, until the heavy word is felt no more. Floating on breath that carries no direction, a silent current through the dreaming mind, wrapped in the folds of infinite reflection, leaving the solid earth so far behind.
her.
The silver frost settles upon the heavy velvet folds where the ghost of a candle flicker barely holds. I am drifting through the hollows of a faded hall, watching the shadows stretch against the whitewashed wall. There is a silence that fits me like a tailored glove, a quiet departure from the friction of human love. The constellations are drowning in a sea of gray, and the clocks have forgotten the rhythm of the day. I find a sanctuary in the weight of the cooling air, combing through memories like tangled strands of hair. There is no urgency in the way the dust won't spin, just a slow surrender to the lightness from within. Oh, it is a soft descending into the pale blue deep, a promise the restless stars were never meant to keep. Let the sadness wrap around like a woolen shroud, a solitary beacon glowing beneath the heavy cloud. It is the beauty of a bridge that leads to nowhere fast, a fragile sanctuary built of things that cannot last. The riverbed is dry, but the current pulls me still past the rusted skeletons of the grain and timber mill. I see the faces of the seasons turning into stone, finding a strange tranquility in being quite alone. The ache is not a burden, but a steady humming wire, a cooling embers of a long forgotten pyre. The horizon blurs the line between the earth and the sky as the final birds of passage begin their long goodbye. Gravity is loosening its grip upon my tired bones, while the wind hymns in some forgotten baritones. Oh, it leaves a sound descending into the pale blue deep, a promise the restless stars were never meant to keep. Let the sadness strike around like a woolen shroud, a solitary beating glowing beneath a heavy cloud. It is the beauty of a bridge that leads to nowhere fast, a fragile sanctuary built of things that cannot last. Oh, it is the sun descending into the pale blue deep, a promise the restless stars were never meant to keep. Let the sadness shriek around like a woolen shroud, a solitary beacon glowing beneath the heavy cloud. It is the beauty. The morning glides across the silver floor, collecting fragments of a quiet light. We drift away from every heavy door to sail within the gardens of the white. No anchor holds the weight of solid ground. The golden haze is breathing through the glass. the frozen seasons start to pass. We are rising on the crest of glowing tides, above the valleys where the shadows sleep. A gentle grace is all the spirit guides into the promises the heavens keep. The velvet air is folding in its arms, the softest pulse of everything we knew. Beyond the A spectrum bleeds across the marble hall with colors that the waking never see. The boundaries are leaning till they fall to set the frozen constellations free. Soft as breath upon a winter pane. We are the mist that fingers cannot hold, far beyond the reach of mud and rain, and further still from silver or from gold. Oh, the wayless bloom is opening its veil in a garden made of nothing but the blue. The anchors break and every sail is frail as I dissolve into the ghost of you, soaring past the edges of the known, where the marrow turns to starlight in the bone. Oh, the wayless bloom is opening its veil in a garden made of nothing but the blue. The anchors break and every sail is frail as I dissolve into the ghost of you, floating past the edges of the known, where the marrow turns to starlight in the bone. The daylight dissolves into a liquid gold, drifting through the ceiling in a silent stream. I am caught within the mesh of a silver net, where the heavy earth loses its ancient hall. 1,000 tiny bells are ringing in the wind, without a tongue to speak or a hand to strike. They weave a fabric out of the shimmering air, lifting every shadow that the dust had pinned. Oh, the heavy curtains are finally drawn wide, and the pale radiance is pouring through the glass. We are floating on a tide of unspoken names, leaving all the tangled weights of the world aside. The architecture of the sky is built on breath, lighter than the feathers of a passing cloud. We walk upon the surface of a polished lake, beyond the reach of every stone and every dam. The molecules are dancing in a frantic grace, spinning like the sparks from a dying fire. The velvet sky is opening its deepest veins to pour the morning onto every upturned face. Oh, the heavy curtains are finally drawn wide, and the pale radiance is pouring through the glass. We are floating on a tide of unspoken names, leaving all the tangled weights of the world spoken names, leaving all the tangled weights of the well aside. Settles on the glass as the daylight starts to fade into the gray. We are breathing in the static of the clouds, watching how the heavy shadows learn to play. The ceiling is a map of hidden veins, where the ghosts of ancient oceans come to rest. I am leaning on the silence of the room, with a heart that beats a hole inside my chest. You are tracing circles in the humid air, like a swimmer lost within a sea of silk. Every motion is a ripple in the pond, pouring memories like honey into milk. There is no gravity to hold our weary feet, only feathers falling from a broken wing. We are suspended in the hollow of a bell, waiting for the frozen iron down to swing. Take me where the liquid stars collide, drown the morning in a velvet tide. We are drifting through the corridors of light, caught between the daybreak and the night. Everything is melting into gold, stories that the wind has never told. We are floating on a breath of sheer desire, walking through the smoke without the fire. The clock is ticking backward on the wall, and the dust is turning into tiny gems. We are picking all the flowers in the dark, leaving behind the thorns and brittle stems. The architecture of the soul is changing shape as the walls begin to shimmer and dissolve. We are solving all the riddles of the bone, with a secret that we never will resolve. The horizon is a thread of glowing wire, pulling us toward the edge of something deep. We are waking from the fever of the world into the cradle where the restless giants sleep. Take me where the liquid stars collide, drown the morning in a velvet tide. We are cresting to the corridors of light, caught between the daybreak and the night. Everything's melting into gold, stories that the wind has never told. We are floating on a breath of sheer desire, walking through the smoke without the fire. Take me where the liquid stars collide, drown the morning in a velvet tide. We are tasting through the corridors of light, caught between the daybreak and the night. Everything is melting into gold, stories that the wind has never told. We are floating on a breath of sheer desire, walking through the smoke without the fire. The silver haze is drifting across A shadow stretch their fingers into long forgotten miles. I see the architecture of a ghost within the frame. 1,000 tiny flickers that refuse to have a name. The water stains are bleeding through the velvet in the hall as gravity surrenders to the writing on the wall. We are suspended in the mercury of the deep, between the promises we swore that we would keep. A kaleidoscope of diamonds burning in the cold, the secrets that the ancient constellations hold. I am dissolving in the brilliance of your stare, until there is no weight within the open air. The clocks are winding backwards in a spiral of descent, recalling every sequence of the hours that we spent. Your silhouette is carved into the fabric of the night, a prism bending fragments of the pale and distant light. The pavement turns to liquid where the garden used to bloom, and silence finds a sanctuary inside this hollow room. The veil is thin enough to touch. We never needed very much. The tides are pulling at the seam. The waking world is but a scheme. We are suspended in the mercury of the deep, between the promises we swore that we would keep. A kaleidoscope of diamonds burning in the kiln, the secrets that the ancient constellation hold. I am dissolving in the brilliance of your stare, until there is no weight within the open air. The dust settles on the windowsill like velvet snow, painting shadows in a faded lavender glow. I watch the clouds bruise into a soft peach stain, drinking up the silence of the afternoon rain. The kettle hums a low and steady lullaby underneath the pale and porcelain sky. Old photographs are losing their sharper edge, leaning like tired soldiers on the mantel ledge. I found a letter tucked inside a hollow book, tracing every curve and every frantic hook. The ink is pale blue like a vein beneath the skin, holding all the places where we might have been. Oh, the light is thinning out to a hazy glow, wrapped in the warmth of stories already told. It is a quiet ache that feels like coming home, a gentle weight within the marrow and the bone. World is blurring into brushstrokes on the wall, waiting There's a grace in how the daylight fades away, forgiving all the debts of a heavy day. The curtains sway like ghosts in a slow motion dance, giving every memory a second chance. The colors bleed together at the seams, drowning in a reservoir of muted dreams. Before the dark begins to settle in the hall, I will lean my spirit up against the wall. Oh, the light is thinning out to a hazy gold, wrapped in the warmth of stories already told. It is a quiet ache that feels like coming home, a gentle weight within the marrow and the bone. The world is blurring into brushstrokes on the wall, waited for the evening and the leaves to fall.